was just thinking about how tough it was to actually get into selling real estate. I think back to when I first started, really all I wanted to do was make money. I chose real estate because I knew a lot of people that made money selling real estate. I mean, that there's no other reason why I chose it. Before I started selling real estate, I had started a small construction company, made alright money doing that, but I didn't really like it, and it just didn't feel like the right thing for me. And actually, I think the thing that really pushed me into it was watching those Flip This House shows. You know, the ones they buy the house, fix it up, flip it, and they make like 50 grand, 100 grand. That's actually why I got into real estate. That's what I wanted to do. But I didn't have very much money. And I was pretty much broke because I lived in San Diego, and we were just about to have our first child, and my whole family lives in Michigan. It was also the first grandchild on either side, so it kind of made sense to come back to Michigan. So anyways, I closed down whatever I was doing in San Diego. It was nothing major, nothing that was too hard to walk away from, other than the awesome weather. Coming back to Michigan and having cold winters kind of sucked, but that's a whole different story. So anyways, I get back to Michigan, and I ended up partnering up with somebody to flip a house. So we found a real estate agent, and he showed us through a bunch of houses, told us, you know, buy this one. When it's done, I'll sell it for X amount of dollars, you know. So we did the math. I knew construction, so we're going to make 30 grand, $40,000 off this house is what we thought. So the guy I partnered with put up the money, and I did all the work. And I swear I worked on that house for 2-3 months full time. I mean, more than full time. Just like I was married to that job. So, long story short, I did this house immaculately, over the top, you know, the typical first time house flipping mentality of like, I gotta make this place awesome. And so I did, and we called the real estate agent to list it, and he said, oh, I'm not 100% certain I can get that price for it. He wanted to list the house for like over $20,000 less than he told us it would be worth. And at that point, I don't remember the exact numbers, but my partner and I were going to split like a potential $5,000 profit. And $2,500 would have been my share. You don't work 3 months full time for $2,500. It's just I was pissed. I don't even want to go into that, but anyway, that's what pushed me to get into real estate. I said, I don't want to hire another real estate agent, whatever. I'm going to figure out how to do this myself. So the end of that year, I went and I got my real estate license, and I just decided I'm just going to run with this. I'm going to be a realtor. I'm going to sell a bunch of houses, and then later on, as I get all this money, then I'll get into flipping houses like I wanted to. But, you know, I'm going to be an awesome real estate agent. So I signed up at this local brokerage, which is one of the biggest ones in the area. You know, it's not a huge national franchise, but it's really huge here. They offer a lot of training, so I get in there and I took, I think it was $1,000 training class, and I had to pay like $200 to get into the class, and then they'll take it out of your commissions. So I'm sitting in this class, and I also at that time had somewhat of a background in website development, some online marketing. It was just kind of a hobby of mine, but at least I had an idea of how some of that works. So I'm sitting in this class, and they give me a box of cards, you know, like the cards with the lines on them that you write on, in a little plastic box. And they said, this is how you keep track of your leads. And didn't make sense to me. This is like something you would do in 10 years earlier, not with the technology we had. I mean, I had a laptop with the spreadsheets on it, and I had access to all kinds of content management software. So anyways, I paid $1,000 for a class that taught me what worked 10 years ago. And no offense to the guy or the different people that came in and taught the class, but they were older agents that were teaching me things that they had done throughout their career. But a lot of these things, they still work. I mean, it was a good solid basis, but they weren't leveraging the technology that we can use now. They had no idea. So I pretty much felt like I wasted $1,000 on that class. And actually, funny thing is, that entire first year that I stayed at the same brokerage for about a year, I sold one house, and it was like under $5,000, I want to say. Some really, really rundown house in a small city where houses are really, really inexpensive. It was $1,000 flat fee commission, I remember, and I was on a split. There were franchise fees and a payment for the class. My check was $300, something like that, $350. That was my entire pay for an entire year of selling real estate. It was ridiculous. I mean, I didn't even know what to think. So the next thing I did is I decided I just want to go to a small brokerage. I don't need to pay all these fees. So anyways, I go to this small brokerage, and I'm just now starting to figure out the sales process in my marketing, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I'm at this brokerage for about 8 months. The guy goes bankrupt. Doesn't pay me like my last 3 commissions. So that was like my experience getting started in real estate. The first company, I sell nothing. I finally get a sale. I'm like, $1,000. I could use this. This is awesome. And then I get this measly check that's like a third because all these fees. Oh, and when I quit from that first brokerage, I still owed them like $700 for the class. And they sent me letters that they're going to send me to collections and stuff, and luckily I got it paid off. So anyways, that was kind of a bad experience, and then straight over to the broker that goes bankrupt on me. And I never did get paid for that. It was probably $3-4 grand worth of commissions, so that sucked. Anyways, so from there I went to kind of a mid-sized brokerage, and really well put together. Love that place. They were awesome. So this is right as I went to that new brokerage. I had just had some success. I've probably closed 6 or 7 deals right in a row at the other brokerage, and I got paid for a few, and then went bankrupt. So at the new place, the first month don't quote me on it, I don't remember exactly, but it must have been 3-4 sales. And then the next month it was like 5 or 6. And then I want to say it was my 3rd month there. Every month they would send out this email list. There was about somewhere between 80 and 90 agents at that brokerage. And I had my BlackBerry, like the old school BlackBerries that were really cool when they first came out. And I was also a little obsessed with checking my email. So anyways, I checked my email, and it's like top 10 for this month. And I see like number 6, Justin Rasmus. And I was like, holy crap, I just made the top 10 list. It's like I just started figuring out how to sell real estate. It was a crazy, weird, awesome feeling, because this is like I spent all this time really doing terrible, and then I'm like a top producing agent, and I've got this email to prove it. And I actually printed out that email, and I showed like all my close friends in my family. They'd seen this journey me dropping my construction work and spending a year or slightly over a year completely dead broke, not selling anything. And all of a sudden I'm just like, here you go, guys, proof. I told you I was going to make it. You know, not bragging or anything, it was just like one of those huge accomplishments that you want to tell people about. So, anyways, it just kept going. It's like when I hit that point, that year, I sold 40, I don't have the paperwork in front of me, it's 40 something, like 45, 46 houses. And, I mean, that's over $100,000 in commission. So I went from $350, basically losing money, in the negative, my whole first year, slightly over first year, and then all of a sudden, I'm bringing in 6 figures in commissions. And it was kind of funny. I mean, I was a young guy, mid-20s, you know, I wasn't known in real estate or anything. So I would just randomly get these real estate agents calling me up and say, hey, we want to have lunch. I'll buy you lunch. Okay, you know, let's go have lunch. I wasn't really sure what the agenda was, but what it turned out is everybody was like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? And, you know, I would tell people. And then eventually the owner, there's an owner and a broker at this company, a father and son. They asked if I wanted to teach a little workshop. And I did. And probably 15 or 20 people showed up there, and I had this whole PowerPoint and just went through all these things I was doing. You know, I built these types of websites, these landing pages, and I'm putting ads over here on Craigslist, and I've got ads over here on Backpage and all these other classifieds, and here's how the linking works. And it was a really technical and a really boring class. I saw people just sitting there yawning, but something happened at the end of that class. Like, at least half the people came up to me and they said, how much would you charge to do this for me? And I said, I don't know, I never thought about that. I'm busy selling real estate. So anyways, I ended up not being able to really help anyone out. I said, here's my email address. If you have questions, I'll help you as much as I can. But you know, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. I couldn't teach people how to do this stuff. So anyways, time goes on. I'm still selling a ton of houses. The next year I sold over 50 houses. And I got asked to come speak again at that same brokerage that I was at, because my name kept showing up in the top 10 list, and I'm like this guy out of nowhere that's doing some awesome stuff on the internet and has all these investors from all over the country flying in. So they asked me to do another class, and I think there was 24 or 25 people, something like that. You know, enough people to, I felt like I was doing something worth doing, you know, showing all these people what I did. But this time what I did is I actually spent a little more time preparing and realizing the technical stuff is kind of hard to absorb really quick, and what if I can break it down into sections, like here's the way to do this and here's actually the easiest way to do it, non-technical, and if you're a little more technically savvy, then we can do this, or we can talk about this. And so this class was a lot more interesting. I actually had more fun with it, you know, I was more relaxed. I was getting used to, I guess, basically training people, because in between I had conversations with a lot of different agents, just showing what I was doing. Anyways, at that class, I actually had put a package together, and almost half the class came and bought that package for me. It was $500 a piece. And I got tons of people. You know, it wasn't automated, it wasn't really training, it was this little website package and then instructions on literally just one portion of what I was doing. One of the things that was bringing me the most leads. So anyways, I sell these, I walk out of there with, you know, it was quite a bit of money. I want to say $5,000 or something, and I had fun doing it. So anyways, I'm still really busy selling real estate, but I had all these books, like employee handbooks that I made, and I had my employees make, and every time an employee did something, I said, write that down, and we would add it to the book. It was our instruction manual, our systems, everything we do. So as I hired more people, now I've got this marketing guy. Here's your book. This is what you do. You follow these instructions. This is your job. Don't do anything else. Just do exactly what it says in this book. And as some of my employees were there longer, they were allowed to add to it if they came up with something cool or something that worked really well. So finally it just hit me, like it came together. I've got all this material here, all these training manuals for my employees, and I've got all these agents that obviously want to know what I'm doing. So I turned it into a book. I probably spent on and off a month working on it, because I couldn't put every little piece of the employee handbook in there. It didn't make sense. It was a lot of things very specific to our region, and different things to do with payroll, all that kind of stuff. So I pulled out all of the tasks that they do, and I put it into this book, and it came out to be about 60 pages long, and it literally it turned into this guide on how to be an agent that sells investment properties. And what else? Losing my train of thought here. Sometimes I make notes before I make videos, sometimes I don't. Today I didn't. Oh yeah, so at this point, sorry, this story takes forever, but it spans over a few years. I also ended up, around the time I started selling a lot of houses to investors, a lot of them were out of state and they needed to get the houses repaired. So I started like this little section of my company that manages that. We would charge a certain flat fee. It was actually $4,000, and once they bought a certain amount of houses, it would drop down to $3,000, volume discount. So it started with me managing it. I would get some local contractors, call them up, and here's the project, and we'd just make sure they got it done in time. Eventually I hired a guy to handle that for me. So anyways, I put that into the book, and I started a construction company too, which I'm going to just say, don't do that. That was too many things going on, because now I'm a real estate agent, doing all this marketing, showing all investors houses, raising money. I was flipping houses, buying rental properties, getting private money loans from people, partnering up with people all over the country to buy houses and flip houses. And then I'm, awesome business builder guy, me, decides, hey, let's build a construction company too. So I had a bunch of employees there, and I'm going to say right now, just don't do that. Don't do that one. Don't get too many things going. If I would have focused just on the investment side, I would have doubled or tripled my income, because I spent so much time in that construction company, and the margins were tight, and so much management and all the extra payroll. Anyways, so that's one of my experiences that I learned from it. It's too much. Focus on the real estate. So anyways, so I created this manual, and I didn't do much with it. I built this website, which I built hundreds of websites. A lot of the stuff in that guide that I wrote revolves around talking about these websites I built, because that's where I got almost all of my clients from, is they found me from a website or an ad or something that I put out there. So anyways, I built a website, and it was kind of crappy, slapped together, a little, it was presentable, but it wasn't anything awesome, and I just put that on there and started selling real estate and got really busy and forgot about it. Then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, how people even found it, to be honest. All of a sudden, like, one day I get 3 sales, you know, it's $200 training product that I got too busy to start promoting. So I'm like, awesome. And promoted it a little bit, you know, started selling some copies, and it was like a nice little side income, and it was fun, and got a lot of good feedback from it, but I didn't have time to focus on it. So anyways, now I'm to the point that I've spoken at large conventions in front of large crowds of people. I've got tons of consulting work I've been doing, and I love it. I'm doing a lot less with selling real estate and a lot more with working with other people and just trying to build things on big scale. I love the marketing side of it. I love putting together these business plans and working with different agents. It's not just here where I am, it's, you know, all over the place. Chicago, Denver, West Coast, a couple cities in California. So now I'm getting all this knowledge from all these different agents, and I just keep refining, learning more, and that's what I love. So anyway, I decided I need to get that guide back out there, because I read through it again, and it's awesome material. I remember spending tons of time on it, especially the editing process. It took forever, just going through and putting stuff in a logical order, and then finding stuff that I added in there that, you know, this isn't relevant anymore, this would be a waste of time, and oh, now I forgot to put this in there, or anyways, it was a long process. And so I read back through it and built a new website for it and got it back out there, and a lot of people have been really interested in it. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. That consulting, I work with a lot of agents consulting and helping them build marketing campaigns, and I'm doing a little local group that is working on flipping some houses, and that also is kind of a class workshop. But it's really cool because it's not just a class, it's like all the people in my class, we're buying a house and flipping it. You know, I've always been paranoid of being lumped in with those people that teach because they can't do it. So I thought, you know, let's start this class where we actually do what we're teaching at the same time and learn. So anyways, I've stayed really active with not only the investment properties, but all these different marketing campaigns. So I got the book back out there. I've got it for sale. Right now, there's a discount. I'm not going to leave it at that discount for long, because it sells great at the higher price. But if you want to pick it up today, there's right below this video, there should be a link, and if you just click it, it'll go to that product page. And that's the new website that I just built. I got a new video that I put up there that I don't know, it just all came together really good. It's a really cool product. Check it out, check out the video, see if it's something you're interested in. And also, if you want a ton of free content, if you haven't been reading my blog, I'm going to make sure there's a link to that too. I've been writing like 5 articles a week, and it's all just pure content, no BS. It's just, I tell you exactly what's working for me, what's working for clients that I'm working with, and if I hate something and can't stand it, I'll be like, don't use this website, it's a piece of crap, it's a waste of time. But if I find something good, like the other day I found this cool thing on Zillow. Most agents' listings are already syndicated to there, and they got this button you can click that turns that into a Craigslist ad, and you just copy and paste the code. It was just like this cool little shortcut. So, you know, I put that kind of stuff on the blog, just all kinds of stuff. So if you get a chance, check out the course, just watch the video. It'll work for anybody who wants to sell investment properties. It's exactly what I did, and it's step by step, and it's really, once you figure it out and you do these things, you go, that's it, it was that easy. You know, word things this way, create this marketing, put it here, It's pretty awesome. So check that out, and check out my blog. And when you go to the blog, if you're not already subscribed, over on the right hand side of it, you can subscribe to it. And then whenever I put a new blog post, you just get an email and keep in touch that way. So also, you got my email address. Feel free to get in touch with me anytime. I actually do answer my emails. So if you have a question about the course, or you're doing a new marketing campaign, you want a second opinion, whatever. I love talking real estate. I get excited about it. So just email me, check out my stuff. If the course looks right for you, pick it up today. And yeah, that's all I got for right now. Thanks a lot for checking out this video.